Good day, everyone. I will be presenting to you a research done on limited adoption of internet-based technologies in accounting and methods for promotion, perception of banking professionals. I'm Janitha Abeygunasekera from University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. What are internet-based technologies? When we use the term internet-based technologies, it includes many technologies under that. It can be big data, it can be blockchain, artificial intelligence, and many other things. What have these got to do with accounting? It is viewed that it will influence the role of traditional accountant and the accounting process. With the perpetual nature of accounting, these technologies can significantly improve the financial visibility and allow more timely intervention into organizational activities. Despite its importance, the adoption rates of these technologies into accounting practices is low and very slow. Not only that, research on the use of internet-based technologies also seem to be limited. Many scholars have identified two areas that needs attention. One gap is around the need to understand the new kinds of accounting and the new skills of accountants that are required to manage firms in the challenging economy. The second is on identifying reasons for the limited adoption of these technologies. With these limited empirical investigations available, the study attempted to answer two questions from the banking sector. What internet-based technologies are used within the banking sector in Sri Lanka, and how the banks the professionals in the banks perceive the underlying reasons for the limited adoption of these technologies. In doing so, a multiple case study approach was used with two large licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka, which are considered technology adopters. And then within them, 17 online interviews were conducted, and the data gathered through these interviews were inductively analyzed using coding approaches and based on two theories also, institutional theory and technology acceptance model. In relation to research question number 1, both the banks were doing well with automation and digitization. Apart from that, 4 other internet-based technologies were used by them. AI is applied in terms of machine learning for anti-money laundering attempts, and then also supporting decision making within the banks. RPA was still at R&D stage, but they were really focusing on supporting the banking needs of customers and also repetitive task in documentation. Use of cloud-based softwares were limited with the security risks, but with the COVID pandemic, they had to move on to this and adopt these technologies also to facilitate their work from home and other requirements. And one of the banks had a data analytics unit that handled all analytical related processes. In terms of research question 2, it could be seen that in both banks, automation was accepted by accountants as well as for accounting processes, but there is a slow pace of acceptance for many of the advanced technologies, though they have the ability of supporting and improving the efficiency and reliability of information gathered and also being more productive. 4 reasons for the slow pace was identified, slow pace of acceptance was identified. First, there is a gap between technical knowledge and experience on the use of technology between the accounting professionals and the IT professionals. This gap inhibits the application of technology into accounting processes. Second, the accounting professionals' tolerance level of the influence made by IT staff on the accounting processes. The accounting staff felt an unnecessary involvement from IT professionals into their accounting processes. Third, they felt pressure on accepting technologies for which the technical know-how is limited. Most of them were really qualified in accounting but not in IT. So they felt a pressure. Fourthly, the already institutionalized accounting practices that existed within the bank also inhibited the incorporation of new methods. So, when considering from an institutional theory perspective, within the institutionalization process, there are three areas, three stages. First, pre-institutionalization, second, semi-institutionalization, and then thirdly, full institutionalization stage. So when we consider the technology's institutionalized level within these banks, it was at a pre-institutionalization stage. For them to get fully institutionalized, they need to improve the level of IT skills and should incorporate that into the skill set of accounting professionals. And also more rationalization and theorizing about the requirement of these internet-based technologies, and then visualizing the positive outcomes of using them to all staff, and also interest group advocacy needs to be used within the organizations from the institutional theory perspective. From technology acceptance model perspective, we could see that the perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use are lacking. Therefore, that is another thing that can be used to increase the acceptance for these technologies within organizations. In conclusion, the findings facilitate the process of promoting the internet-based technologies within banks because we have identified several methods, and also it opens avenues for new research. So that's the end of the presentation and time for questions and answers.